Hi, I'm attorney Gregory Dell, joined by attorney Jessup, and we're going to talk about some disability insurance claim tips for orthopedic surgeons. And Stephen, we've represented hundreds of orthopedic surgeons over the years, and in this video I want to provide some guidance for orthopedic surgeons who are either considering filing, on claim, have been denied, and kind of combination of all the issues we've seen by representing orthopedic surgeons. So let's start with, so that we can get a baseline for what we're talking about here, what's the typical type of disability policy that you see that orthopedic surgeons have?
I mean, generally it's always an individual disability policy that they got, through an agent on their own at some point early on in their career. Every now and then you see something if they work for a group and that group offers an employer-provided one, but generally speaking, it's the individual disability product.
And I know we're seeing a lot more group disability policies lately for orthopedic surgeons because you have these corporations that are coming in and buying up these groups, and then they have they offer these group disability policies, but more often than not, a lot of these orthopedic surgeons get these policies during their residencies or early on in their career, so they have the private policies.
And I think it'd be important to say too, if you are an orthopedic surgeon and this is a situation where a group's coming in and they're offering you a group policy, do not give up your policies you own on your own. Keep those policies.
So what's the typical, whether it's group or individual, but what's the typical definition of disability that you see in these policies for orthopedic surgeons?
It's going to be some variant of an own occupation. Each carrier may do it different. We have what we call true own occupations, where you can work in some other job and continue to work, but generally speaking, it's going to pay benefits if you're unable to perform the material and substantial duties of your occupation. And a lot of times in the individual disability policies, it'll have like a caveat that says if you practice a medically recognized specialty, that will be your occupation. So for an orthopedic surgeon, your own occupation will be as an orthopedic surgeon.
I want orthopedic surgeons who are either, no matter what stage they're at, I want them to understand how is the disability carrier going to determine what their occupation is, because orthopedic surgeon is just a title, and not every orthopedic surgeon works in their practice in the same manner. So how does the disability carrier go about evaluating what that orthopedic surgeon was doing?
Your CPT codes, production reports, that's going to give them an idea of what you're doing day in, day out, how you're billing, surgery versus just consults and things like that. So the ultimate deciding factor of what you do for a living is based on your codes. And
what kind of detail and how does a disability insurance company request that information?
They're generally requests that like a formalized printout. Sometimes they'll want to see, if you say you do X number of surgeries, they want to see your calendars and stuff like that. But generally for our clients, whatever software system they use that's used for billing towards, whether it be, Medicaid or any insurance company, they want those printouts.
When determining this definition, which is usually unable to perform the substantial material duties of an occupation, and you get these CPD production reports and you do your analysis of them, you're also looking at monthly profit and loss statements to see the revenue that comes in for each of these procedures. What are the substantial material duties? Meaning, is it quantified by the number of procedures, or is it more quantified by the procedures that are generating the most amount of income?
It's interesting because say you, as an orthopedic surgeon, you only do shoulders. That's all you do. That may not bill at the same amount of rate as back surgeries do. So it may be a quantity, the amount that you do. It's a balancing act. The insurance company will always try to go one side or the other while ignoring, they'll say, oh, you only did 3 of these or 4 of these in this given month, and ignore the fact that it may have brought in 80% of the revenue.
Right, well.
Or, they'll say, oh, you may have done 20, 30s of these smaller surgeries, but it was only a small percentage of actual earnings, so it's really not the full the material and substantial duties. So you always have to expect that it's like a matter of statistics. They'll interpret it how they want, what's going to best fit them. So that's why it's always good to evaluate and kind of get an understanding of how they may look at it. And even sometimes, you and I have discussed, and we've had clients in situations where the insurance company will say, well, you've done a lot of consults, so that's a material and substantial duty. But more often than not, the only reason why they're doing the consults is to prepare for the surgery. But for the surgeon, it's not like they're just generally having people come into the office and then the surgeon's going, oh yeah, you need shoulder surgery, you should go see some other guy. It's a matter of actually doing that so the surgery can be scheduled and performed.
You know, and a lot of the issues that we've handled for orthopedic surgeons that end up being litigated are whether or not the doctor is totally disabled versus residually disabled, because for a lot of these orthopedic surgeons, they operate maybe 1 or 2 days a week, and the disability insurance company says, well, you're only in the operating room 1 day or 2 half days a week. And our response is, yeah, but that generated 80% or 60% of the income. The other 40%, like you were saying earlier, was incidental to the surgeries.
To get you to the surgery, yeah.
So what happens in the scenario with many clients you've represented where they call you and go, Steve, look, I just can't operate. I have carpal tunnel. I have a neck issue, back issue. I'm not comfortable with the fine motor skills required to do the surgeries, but I think I can still do an office practice and either refer to my partners or just not do surgery and refer to someone else. Can that particular orthopedic surgeon still be considered totally disabled, do their non-surgery, and collect their full disability payment?
Yes, and we've had that not only with orthopedic surgeons, but other doctors who perform certain types of surgeries and stuff where, yes, you can say, hey, I'm just doing the consults for the guy who's going to do the surgery now. Do I expect the insurance company's going to fight that? Yes, 100%. But you can establish and really present and drive home that argument. And we have clients that are in that exact situation. You know, one of the really interesting things when it comes to orthopedic surgeons, speaking with the clients I represent who are, and I don't necessarily think a lot of times the insurance companies understand how physical a job it is. It's very physical, performing surgeries and what you have to do, orthopedically speaking. So it can take a huge toll on your body, and you do start to see, like you said, neck, back, carpal tunnel, like overuse injuries over time that do. And if you start cutting back your surgeries, I recently spoke with a doctor who, for initial consultation, and he's cut back his surgeries 3 years ago because of issues he was having. So then it becomes an issue, well, were you residually disabled back then? And there's a whole another analysis that can take place. So even if you're in that situation where you're starting to cut back, it's always good to speak to one of us or an attorney to review the policy and say maybe you have a residual disability claim right now, and you can set the stage for a total disability claim down the road.
Right. I know we always tell the doctors all the time, even if you're not even considering filing now or whatever's going on with your claim, you can reach out to any of us for a free consultation. Email us a copy of your policy. We'll review it with you. A 15, 30-minute phone call. We can let you know all the things, what your options are, because many doctors don't want to go on disability. No. They make significantly less money on disability than they do working, but yet they want to plan for their future, support their family, whatever their financial goals are, but they have concerns they may need to go on disability at some point in time. So it's always a good idea to reach out to us for planning. We've had clients reach out to us 3, 4, 5 years before they even filed, and when they're ready, we guide them through that process so that they can get where they need to be. For the people that are either on claim, considering claim, a lot of these orthopedic doctors are like, look, I just can't do my surgeries, but I can live my life otherwise. Can they still do many of the things outside their extracurricular activities that they were doing beforehand and still collect their disability benefits?
100%. Activities of daily living, especially when you're looking at an orthopedic surgeon, the correlation between them is usually very minimal, I joke with people, one doctor I spoke to last week, I'm like, listen, you're not doing World's Strongest Man competitions in your front yard, right, so you're fine. So yes, you can still collect, because like I was saying, the physical nature of it, plus the biggest thing when it comes into any type of surgeon, patient safety. If you have something that could potentially put your patient at risk, that's always the primary thing. For most of the doctors I've ever spoken to, they'll suck up the pain, they'll do things, they'll try to adapt and make accommodations for themselves to continue. But when it gets to the point where they're worried about their patient, that's when you got to take a step back. So even if they're worried about being caught on video surveillance, grocery shopping or doing normal things, when you take a look at not only the physical nature of the job, but the risk to the patient, I always feel it's not something they need to be, overly concerned about.
Yeah, and I have plenty of orthopedic doctors that we've both represented who continue to be able to play golf, or they might play softball once a week, or they play tennis. as long as you're honest about what's going on and explain, here's why I can do that. And yeah, do they hurt if they play softball or tennis or golf? Yeah, but
they're only hurting themselves.
yeah, it's 1 day a week. Now, I wouldn't necessarily want to see that doctor start playing 7 days a week and, long rounds and maybe go to the tour. But, playing casual like you were beforehand or doing whatever, but being honest about it. And we're going to tell the disability carrier, yes, I play golf. Yes, I play tennis. Yes, I do whatever it is. But I can't do these fine things with my hands in these fixed positions for long procedures and possibly make a mistake. I'm just not going to do it. So there's lots of options for the orthopedic surgeons, and no matter what stage your claim is at, feel free to call Stephen or myself. We'd love the opportunity to review your disability policy. We'll get on the phone with you right away, and we'll let you know what your options are, how we can help you, and answer all of your questions. And no matter where you live in the country, we're available to assist you, and we look forward to the opportunity to speak with you. Hi, I'm Gregory Dell, the managing attorney of Dell Disability Lawyers, and I hope you find the video you just watched helpful. We put these videos out all of the time, and we'd love if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. Beyond our videos on our YouTube channel, we also have lots of information available on our website at diattorney.com, and we encourage you to come to our website. The goal is that we want you to be educated about the disability insurance process. And when you get to our website, you'll see that we have information all about your specific disability insurance company, your occupation, and your medical condition. And we've designed our website such that you can easily search our website to find things that you may specifically be looking for. Now, at our website, we have thousands and thousands of pages of information, hundreds of videos that you can search. Plus, we're building a section of reviews of all the disability insurance companies, and we have the Ask Our Lawyer section where you can go ahead and ask us any questions that you may have. Now, we realize that you may not need us right now, but you may need us in the future to help you with your disability claim, and we think one of the best ways to keep in touch is by clicking the button below and subscribing to our channel. And most importantly, again, no matter where you live in the country, we're always available. Just go ahead and give us a call. We're happy to discuss your claim and let you know immediately if we can help you.